This DLC is absolute garbage. Hey, what's up guys, this is KSG Gaming here, and today I'm going to be giving you guys my early impression on the Curse of Osiris DLC for Destiny 2. Now, I'm sure you guys have all heard of the Curse of Osiris DLC, and I'm sure a lot of you are watching this review because you're skeptical on whether or not you want to purchase this DLC. And let me start off by saying this DLC was very disappointing. Now, before you go on in the comment section thrashing me, saying, oh, the DLC came out yesterday, like I said, this is an early impression, and I have already beaten the DLC in 5 hours yesterday when the DLC came out. And if you don't believe me, I made an entire walkthrough on it, and you guys can check that out on my channel. But anyways, let's go on with the actual review itself. The DLC was very disappointing. It did not live up to its expectations. Now, I would not say the DLC was hyped in the first place. I wasn't expecting a lot from the DLC. But let's start off by saying this is going to be a spoiler-free review. Now, the DLC only has around roughly 8 to 9 campaign missions, and that's stretching it a bit. Okay, and that's like a rough estimate. It might be even less than that. Some of the missions are like really short. You know, they're just dialogue missions, and other missions are a decent length, although they could have done better. I feel like the story for this expansion was very vague. You cannot understand a whole lot. The story is better than the Crota Zen story, since Crota Zen was the first DLC for Destiny. But now a lot of people are saying that Curse of Osiris is the first DLC for Destiny 2, so it shouldn't be something as big as, say, the Taken King. Absolutely wrong. It is the exact opposite. Bungie's been working on this game for 4 fucking years, and after 4 fucking years of learning, experimenting with the game, communicating with the community, they give us some washed down DLC shit like this. This DLC has really nothing to offer. 8 missions, okay, a whole ton of new exotics, although most of these so-called new exotics are just exotics from Destiny 1 that they brought back, like this Helm of Saint 14, the Ophidian Aspects, Warlock Gauntlets, whatever they're called, the Telesto, what's that one helmet for the Hunter, the Graviton Forfeit, you know, all of these exotics just brought back from Destiny 1. And on top of that, you guys are familiar that in Destiny 1, with every new DLC, the vendors would always sell new weapons, new armor. Well, in this case, the vendors aren't selling anything special. They're not selling anything new. The only exciting thing, and it's not even exciting, are the ornaments. But the ornaments don't make a huge difference. At least with what the vendors are selling, their ornaments don't really impact the armor aesthetically too much. You know, it's not, you know, it's not much of a difference there. They're selling the same weapons and the same armor. Now, they've added in a couple of new weapons, just a little bit, like 2 or 3 per each vendor. And, well, those weapons are nothing special either. They're just reskins from Destiny 1. I'm not even joking. They reskinned weapons from Destiny 1. Listen, this is a live review here. So let me pull up this weapon. Look, this is a Curse of Osiris weapon. Does this look familiar to you at all? Because if it doesn't look familiar to you at all, if it looks completely new to you, you have been living in a box. Okay, now they have put in some new weapons. They have added in some new aesthetically looking weapons, and those are only the Osiris Forge weapons, and which I really like those. It's a really interesting concept. I say that's the only redeeming factor of DLC are the Osiris Forge weapons, if that's what they're even called. Basically what they are, if you're not informed on it too much, Osiris Forge weapons, basically what they are there you go to the social space, the lighthouse on Mercury, where Brother Vance is. You know, a new vendor, which I'll get to later. And to the left of him is this wall with different nodes of different weapons that you can acquire doing specific tasks. And well, let's put it this way, there is no special way to get these weapons. All you have to do basically is do a couple of public events, do an adventure or two, and then you get an artifact that you have to charge up, and then after that you go to the forge and you can forge your new weapon. And it's the same throughout. It's the same process for all of the weapons. And how I know this? Well, because I have friends who have gotten all the weapons already, and they tell me that it's pretty much the same exact process. Now, this is very disappointing because you're pretty much doing the same thing for every weapon, and it's not really fun. It should be a different task for each weapon. It would add more of a mystery to these weapons. It would give it, you know, more. It would give you more of a reason to go out and get these weapons, because to get these weapons is pretty much the same thing. You just do the same thing over and over again, and that's really, there's nothing fun about that. It's just you're doing the same thing over and over again, and that's the same exact thing with the story. And the story, so we have covered the loot section of this expansion. Now we'll cover the story, non-spoiler. We're just going to talk about the layouts of the missions. The missions, they pretty much feel the same, except they're all in a different area. You know, there was a mission that did introduce me to a new area, which I really liked. It was really gorgeous, and it was a very, very nice area. It reminded me of Wakanda. You know, Black Panther Wakanda, or something from Avatar, James Cameron's Avatar. Now the only problem is it's not an explorable space. You can't patrol. It's not a patrol zone. It's not a patrol space, and that's really disappointing, because I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but for those of you who have gotten to that section, you know what I'm talking about. It's a very nice open space. It's really fun. It looks like the perfect place to pull out your Sparrow and just ride around for miles and miles and have fun with your friends, you know. But unfortunately, that's not the case. It's not an explorable area. You know, you walk like 30 feet away from the objective and you get killed by going out of bounds. You know, there's an out of bounds section and you can't go any further. And this public event right here, let's talk about this for a second. They did say that you were going to be rewarded a lot more for these public events. And as you see, I got 2 tokens in the blue. Not only that, but I have a fire team medallion active, and I got shit rewards. Now that is a problem right there. When they introduced this really new, really fun public event, and it's really overhyped, but the public event gives you pretty much nothing in return. There's no point of doing it except for a couple of tokens, and these tokens, when you turn in their Brother Vance, they like give you absolutely no XP whatsoever. I turned in, I don't know, like 10 tokens, and I'm not even halfway to leveling them up. I may be exaggerating a bit, but it's not far from the truth that it takes a while to level up Brother Vance. A lot longer than other vendors, and I don't know why. I don't know if that's just me, it probably is. But I know my friend did talk about this before, and look at this right here. You can't even go through this portal. Like, what the hell is this? The exploration is impeccable. My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day was ruined by purchasing this DLC. I cannot believe I spent $20 on this piece of garbage. I could have bought. You know what I could have bought with $20? I could have bought Batman Return to Arkham, which I was planning on buying before I bought this DLC. I was a little skeptical of this DLC, and I was thinking about buying that game, Batman Return to Arkham. It was only $25, and I bought a $25 gift card. Now $5, it's not a major difference from $20, but this expansion cost $20, and when in reality, This expansion should be free. I mean, come on, Warframe. Look at Warframe. It's a free game. They give you free expansions for Warframe. Free updates, free expansions. And the expansions in Warframe are 1,000 times bigger than this piece of crap. And they're free. Once you get a company like Bungie that has a massive budget and like over 100 to 1,000 people working on the damn thing, you get this piece of shit, you know there's a problem. And you know you're not going to get, your fan base is going to decrease. Curse of Osiris was supposed to save Destiny 2. Destiny 2 started off very badly. The sales were good because it was overhyped. But then after that, the player base dropped by 70 fucking percent. 70%. The player base dropped 70%. 70%, people. That is impeccable. That is absolutely pathetic. I've never seen. This is Evolve had a better player base than Destiny 2. Evolve maintained a higher player base than a larger player base than Destiny 2. This is absolutely insane. I cannot believe I spent my money on this garbage. And I assure you, I will not be coming back for the next DLC unless it makes some major changes. Because honestly, you release a game like Destiny 2 and they don't even give you the option to choose a Crucible game type. You know, it's just gonna be rough from there on. And everyone had good predictions. Would I buy this DLC? Absolutely not. The story is very short, very vague, very disappointing. It's a classic Destiny cliche story. You save the entire universe, and only 3 people know about it. Like, what the hell is that? And you don't get rewarded for it at all. Now I'm going to start bringing in spoilers to this review, so it can give me a little bit more freedom to review this product. And so you guys, if you guys don't want any spoilers, go ahead and click out of this video. My final verdict for those of you who are going to click out, I would not buy this. I would give this a 1 out of 10. Maybe even a 2 out of 10. That's stretching it. That's stretching it. On to the spoiler part of this review. The story essentially is about Osiris. He, I don't know, he goes back in time, he gets trapped. There's this big, huge Hydra with arms named Panoptus or something like that. I think his name is Penelope or Panoptus. And he wants to destroy the entire universe. He wants to alter reality as you know it and change everything completely. And there are some flashback missions which are really, really nice, really fun. You know, flashback missions I quite like. But there's only 1 or 2 of those, and you know that does not fit well with me. Basically, the mission, the story is 8 missions long, and I would say 7 because one of those missions technically doesn't count as an entire mission. It's super short. And basically, Ikora sends you out on a mission because she found Sigarius, who is Osiris's ghost. She found the ghost, or one of her disciples found a ghost. And so she wants you to investigate what happened to Osiris. And basically you go to Mercury, and you know, you do a couple of chores here and there for Brother Vance. And then your Sigarius, the ghost, Osiris's ghost, merges with your ghost. So for the entire expansion, your ghost is Sigarius, and I think that was pretty cool. Until at the very end of the expansion, when obviously you get your ghost back. But pretty much, Sigarius is your ghost, and she wants you to find Osiris and find Panoptus, who is the big bad guy in this expansion. Panoptus, like I said, wants to alter reality. He is just a Hydra with arms, nothing special. And Panoptus is a Vex, so he doesn't have any dialogue whatsoever. Naturally, Panoptus is a Vex. Vex usually don't talk. I get that. He has 0 characterization, and I get that because he's a robot. Robots, very rarely can they have. Well, most of the times they can have pretty good characterization, but the Vex, that's kind of hard to, you know, to fit. But the story feels very, very small. It does not feel like an expansion. The story is on a smaller scale than Crota's End, and that's a problem. Crota's End, you had the Hive King, a Hive Prince of Darkness, who essentially was going to take over the moon. That sounds like a pretty bad thing, right? Now, Dark Below, even though it was a very lackluster expansion, because it was the first expansion of Destiny 1, they did a very good job showing the scale and intensity of this expansion. You know, with this expansion, Curse of Osiris, you have a Vex that wants to destroy the entire universe. This is worse than Oryx, way worse than Oryx. But they don't give it that intensity. The story is not that intense how it should be. The story is just, you know, a couple chores here and there, and that's it. It's very hard to pay attention to the story. The dialogue, the cutscenes, they're very cheaply done. You know, I feel like if our Guardian could speak, the story would be a whole lot better, because it'd be one more character to give off dialogue and one more character to give off, you know, to tell the story. But unfortunately, that's not the case. Bungie is a multi-billion dollar company, and they can't hire a couple of actors to play the voices of the Guardian, even though they did that for Destiny 1. And that is, now for a game like this, I like the silent protagonist. In Skyrim, that worked out really well. Well, Skyrim, I wouldn't know if you would call him silent, because you could choose your own dialogue, but at the same time you didn't speak. Destiny, I can see what they were trying to do with the whole silent protagonist, because that works out. Master Chief was a silent protagonist for some time, and that worked out. But here's the thing. Destiny, the characters in Destiny are so vague, they're so hollow. A silent protagonist doesn't work. You can only have a silent protagonist if all the other characters can make up for that. And in Destiny's case, it doesn't. Not even Osiris has an interesting story. Sigarius is probably the only new character. Well, Sigarius and Osiris are the only new characters introduced. Sigarius, the Ghost, is a very nice character. I like the character of Sigarius. You know, it's a very good voice acting. Gives us a lot of story. You know, you can really feel the emotions from Sigarius, even though Sigarius is just a ghost. But I mean, overall, they should have not went with the silent protagonist, because that just ruined it. You know, it's like I said, you can only have a silent protagonist if the other characters, it backs him up. In this case, it doesn't. Overall, I'd say this expansion, story-wise, this expansion is a 5 out of 10. Okay, well, actually, it's a 10 out of 10. The story, the concept, it's a very, very good concept, but the execution, you know, the way they tell the story, that's the bad part. And that's what's always been bad with Destiny. It's not the story, it's just the execution. And, you know, I feel like they could have done a way better job if they'd taken the time, and if they didn't just cut this DLC out from the base game. The execution, I'd say it's a 2 out of 10. They did not do a good job executing the story at all. It was a very bad, poorly told story, and I just didn't like it. And a lot of people didn't like it. In fact, no one liked it. If you say you like the execution of the story, well, you're a fucking pleb, and you don't deserve to be on the planet Earth, right? Go to Moon so you can affect no one with your stupidity, because this, I'm sorry, is horrific. Absolutely terrible. It's just terrible. The new gear, it's not really worth it. Look, you go to Brother Vance, and you see the gear that he gives off for hunters. Look at that. What is that? That is horrifying. That's horrifying to look at. I want to gouge my eyes out by looking at him. Is he a discount Iron Man or something, with a little cape and a hoodie? No, this is just terrifying to look at. And if you look at his inventory here, half the shit he's selling, weapon-wise, are from the base fucking game. And these weapons here, which apparently are new, this seems to be the only good thing. The only new thing. This looks like the Havoc Pigeon with a silencer on the end. This is nothing special, right? And neither is this rocket launcher. This rocket launcher, look at this rocket. This is something from Destiny 1. They're getting super lazy. This is Osiris. They could have made Egyptian theme armor. That would have been amazing. Look how retarded my character looks. He looks like a samurai Iron Man that did the raid. He looks terrible. Absolutely terrible. Now, I do think that this review has been more of a rant than anything else, because that's what it should be. You cannot review this game without feelings of disgust, without feelings of disappointment, because that's what this game is. It's a very disappointing turnout. This is supposed to save Destiny, not destroy it furthermore. I cannot express my disappointment for this expansion. I can't believe I spent $20 on this. I'm truly sad. I want this to be a great game, because I like this game. But if Bungie, if they don't get off their asses, if they don't listen to the community, how are we going to do that? How are we going to have a great game? We can't. And we're not going to, to be quite frank. We're not going to have a great game. Because Destiny was never meant to be great. Okay, now, you can argue that it has a lot of potential, and yes it does. But the second Destiny 2 dropped its player base by 70%, you can start to see this game was finished. It was done for. No expansion could... Listen, in my opinion, the only thing that could get this game back up to its roots is a raid that takes off with a spaceship battle. I know I'm asking for a little too much, but... And let's talk about the raid. The raid supposedly... Well, listen, I can't talk about the raid now. We don't know much about it. We all know it's a smaller version of the raid or something like that. You know it takes place in Leviathan. I will make a part 2 of this review when the raid comes out. And hopefully the raid will redeem this DLC. Hopefully it won't give us reskinned weapons and armor. You know, it's very hard to talk about this game without feelings of anger, because I really did waste my time and money with this game. And if you've seen the new exotics they introduced, absolutely horrific, and I just can't go on anymore. The strike, I don't even know if they added a new strike, to be honest. I don't, even if they added a new strike, you know what? It's probably trash, let's face it. One new Crucible map, I mean, look, you make an expansion after 4 years and you only put one strike in one Crucible map, or maybe 2 Crucible maps? Come on, man. Are you fucking kidding me? That's despicable. Get the fuck out of my face. I'm done. You know what? Final verdict, do not buy this game, because you're going to be giving them money and you're going to be falling into their trap that you always fall for. I mean, it's a pattern. It's a pattern. Honestly, this game is it's horrendous. It's horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. I am fucking done. I'm signing out. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm sorry if I wasted your time and if this was not what you're looking for. This was more of a rant than anything else, because like I said, there's no way to review this game without ranting. But without further ado, please make sure to rate, comment, like, and subscribe to my 93 subscriber channel. Please, I'm struggling. I'm going to shoot myself any day now. And the only thing keeping me back is a thought that one day a famous YouTuber will notice me and give me a shout out, and I will have 1 million subscribers instantly. Like that. But I know that's not going to happen. So I'm just going to spend my last few weeks here on planet Earth before I grab my Glock and shoot myself in the throat. So please do me the dying wish and get me to at least 100 subscribers. Please. Thank you for watching.